Intimidated by the whole bathing your baby thing? I was too, until I learned some great tips. And it turns out these tips saved me time and money. Quack, quack. Welcome to Gen B TV. This is episode number 6 in our Raising Eco Baby on a Budget series. Today we're talking about bathing, which can be intimidating when you get right down to it. I mean, they are human, they could drown, and it would be your fault. However, that is definitely not going to happen, and I'm going to show you some great tips to have some fun in the bath and to save you some time and money. So let's just get this out of the way up front. Never ever leave your baby alone in the bath. I know you've heard this, and I'm just telling you, as a new mother, you've got a million things to do, and so it gets tempting. The phone rings, you want to respond to a text, change the laundry out. Don't do it, because literally, in only a few seconds and only an inch of water, your baby can drown. Learning how to bathe your newborn does take a little practice. It's not really easy handling a wiggly, wet, and slippery little human. When your babies are first born, sponge baths are fine until the umbilical cord falls off. This usually happens within a week. Now after that, when they're still super duper tiny, you can use a hand towel in the sink and definitely skip on buying those sink contraptions, usually made of styrofoam or plastic. I was actually gifted one of these contraptions and I used it about one time because it was much more trouble than it was worth. Now once they've outgrown the sink, which happens unfortunately all too rapidly, they're ready for the big time bath. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a great tip that I learned from my sister-in-law's midwife. It's take a bath with them. You might think, oh, I don't have the time. I'm telling you, take the time. It might be the only time in your day that you get to bathe. Here's how we do it. All you need to do is pour yourself a warm bath and get that hand towel wet again and drape it over your legs. Then bring the baby in with you and let them feel the water, and you can control how much you submerge them or not by just adjusting your legs. I'm gonna let you in on another great secret. Babies really don't need that much soap at all. You know, they're not that dirty. Plus, if you use soap, it can actually run the risk of drying out their skin or worse, irritating them. Certainly the kind made for adults should not be used. But if you do want to use a mild soap, here's what I recommend. Now, I tried a few of the baby brand soaps, and we just love this one from the Wonder Seed. It's made of hemp, so no synthetic fragrances, which are really horrible for you and the baby, and it suds up beautifully with a light scent of jasmine. Now that my baby bathes alone, I like this one because it actually kind of puffs up and it stays on his body so he plays with it. Now at least I know he's getting his dirty hands super clean. Did you know that more than half of children's bath soap, shampoos, lotions, and other personal care products were found to contain 1,4-dioxane and formaldehyde? Now, as they get bigger, clearly they don't need to stay on your legs in the bath. With baby Sky, it became a nice ritual for us to bathe together anyway, and I feel like this is the first time he really learned how to play. One of his toys is just one of these snot plunger things that doesn't really work that well. Side note, we got a nose Frida instead, and they rock, trust me. Instead of tossing this little pink nose plunger, we cleaned it out and then threw it in the bath with him. Now he just loves to fill it with water, put it in his mouth, and squirt it at me. Lastly, you really don't need to wash their hair that often. Sky had some cradle cap which needed soap, but since then he's only had his hair washed a handful of times since birth, and he's now almost 15 and a half months. But he doesn't have greasy hair, see? His hair just has naturally adjusted. So now, getting out of the bath. Seems like a small thing, however, it is definitely a chance for a lot of injury. If you're holding the baby, and especially if you've just recently given birth, and like myself, had a C-section, you don't have a lot of muscle strength and a lot of balance to get yourself out. So make sure you have help, or you can actually just place the baby onto the bath mat and let them sit there for a second. Then you get out yourself and then towel dry. Now let's say you just don't have the time, or you lucky devil, you've already been to the gym and showered, and you're gonna give them a bath solo. Remember, they only need 2 to 3 inches of water, and they're gonna be just as happy and clean, and again, you're gonna save on your water bill. Okay, so I know I say don't buy a lot of superfluous, cutesy things for baby, but this little hooded towel I found to be indispensable. It's from a company called Bambusa, and they make a lot of kind of terry cloth feeling stuff from bamboo. And what I love about it is It's the perfect size to like capture your baby and get them dry before they wiggle off. It's also really thin and absorbent, so you can get it into all the crevices. And of course, it is really adorable. I mean, look at him here at 5 months, all bundled in his little hooded towel. One more silly plug for this towel is it serves a dual purpose. Check it out. It makes perfect size after shampoo towel for your head. And finally, let's set the record straight. Babies do not need lotion after their bath. Their skin is so soft and it's naturally soft, so you really don't want to mess with that equation. Just let nature do its work. And clearly, your baby does not need powders or talcums, especially the perfumed kind. Promise, your baby is going to smell so sweet and so sweet naturally. So wait, you're saying no lotions, powders, or talcums needed? That's right, cha-ching! So that about wraps it up for our Bathing Eco Baby episode. I hope you learned some good tips, and I hope you are inspired to share this with your friends that also might be curious or intimidated about bathing their baby. Plus, they'll thank you for all the ideas on how to save some cost and also how to help Ma Earth in the process. Remember, sharing is caring, so definitely hit that forward button. And until next time, rock on with your light green self. I see you. So that about wraps it up for our Bathing Eco Baby episode. I hope you had some good times. Hope you had some good times.